Last week, Joe talked about planning for telephone system failure. Well, I'd like for you, and I'm going to talk about planning for vehicle failure. Almost everyone here, and if you're really lucky, but almost all of us have experienced vehicle failure at some time in our lives. Now, how do we start and plan for that? The first one is we need to talk to our insurance agent, and that would be John if you're lucky. And what do we need to do? You need to add to your policy 3 things: towing, roadside service, and rental car with repair. For pennies on the dollar, if you have a problem with your car, you can get your vehicle picked up, jump-started, or repaired and get a rental car at the same time. And I'll tell you something, it's only when you really need it that you wish you had it. So once you have that insurance, then what do? Well, folks, you need to get out your cell phone. You need to add some of these numbers into your cell phone or smartphone. First of all, you need to have your insurance agent's number. You need to have your insurance company's number, but it's the 800 number that goes to the roadside service, not the general number, because you'll never find the roadside service. You need the number of your friendly neighborhood mechanic, and you need at least 1 and probably 2 tow companies, because I promise you, if your insurance company can't help you, you still want to get off the side of the road. And also, for those of you who travel, you need to put in there is 1-800-LET-NAPA, which you can find the closest Napa Auto Care Center. If you have a smartphone, it's www.napaautocare.com. And the reason is, if you're out of town, you don't know anybody, you need car service, Napa has vetted that local businessman, and whatever work they do for you is warranted and guaranteed when you get back home to Atlanta. So now, you're ready to go, right? Well, no, we need some equipment and planning for our failure. The very first thing is a jump box. Now, commercial jump box is $200. You can get them for $50. Well, it's pretty obvious why you need one of these, right? Your battery dies, you can jump start your car. We'll talk about that in a minute. Second thing you need is an LED flashlight, $5, because has anybody ever had their car fail in the daylight? It's always at night, and you gotta go find it, and you can't see anything. So not only by your bedside table, but in your glove box. Simple and cheap. If you have a TPS system, which is a tire pressure monitoring system, the light goes on, oh my God, I've got a flat tire. Well, maybe yes, maybe no. It's electronic, so you get one of these. It's accurate to a 1/4 pound. Check your tire pressures so that you'll know whether or not you really have a flat tire or the system is just simply giving you a false alarm. The last thing you need to have is a long screwdriver and a hammer. If we get to it, we'll talk about the fact that starters fail, and you can get 1 extra start out of a dead starter by hitting it with a hammer. Okay? So now I have the basic tools of survival. But now I got to locate things. First of all is, where's my battery? Sorry, it's not always under the hood. It's in the trunk now. It's in the wheel well. And if it is under the hood, it can be buried all the way under by the firewall. And folks, unless you've got X-ray vision, you cannot find it. Know where your battery is. 2, check your spare, your jack, and your lug wrench. Because guess what? They're not always in the trunk anymore. They're underneath the car, they're in a sidewell, and it's amazing how people go, I know I have a spare around here somewhere, I just can't find it. The last thing you need to know, and most sophisticated, where is my starter? What the heck does it look like, and why should I need to have that information? So if you now have those things located, now we have to practice. What do we practice? First of all, if you connect a battery charger to a modern car's battery incorrectly, you blow the computer. Talk $2,000 for not knowing how to connect it. Get your owner's manual out and figure out how to do it. Always be positive, meaning red cable to positive side of battery first, then the ground. Why would I do that? Because the electricity will jump from the battery charger to the positive post. You can blow up the battery. I don't know what that's going to do to you. Mary Kay will not be able to help you there. Or it'll fry your computer. Always be positive and take the ground off first before you take the positive off. Again, keeping the electricity from jumping. You got to practice that. 2 is practice changing a tire. Now I know we all have cell phones, but of course there's never anything like a dead zone in Atlanta, right? Uh-oh, now what do I do? And the ladies, and for guys, they put lug nuts on at 100 foot-pounds. And let me tell you something, 100 foot-pounds is a heck of a tight lug nut. And so if you try the thing that they give you from the manufacturer that only Hulk Hogan can actually undo a lug nut, is you want to probably find a much longer lug wrench at the auto parts store to get that lug nut off and change a tire. The last thing is, if you know where your starter is, you turn the key, nothing happens, but you know the battery is good. You grab your friendly rubber-headed hammer, you go out there and you whack it a couple of times and it'll start. Once, 80% of the time. Twice, you're probably not going to get there. So you get it to start one extra time, go to your friendly neighborhood mechanic and get it fixed. Now, symptoms and death of cars. First of all, battery is number one. Replace it every 36 to 48 months because it's a fundamental to your car, not when it's dead, but under maintenance. It will kill your alternator, $500, and it will kill your starter, $500. So replace your battery for $100 on a regular basis. Serpentine belts. When they break, your car stops. You have no power assist, and ladies, you'll understand what gorilla arms are when you try to take your SUV and drive it without power assist. Every 50 to 60,000 miles for under $100, change your serpentine belt. Timing belts, change them, 1690 or 105, read your owner's manual. When the timing belt goes, it's like a light switch. You drive the car, belt breaks, engine stops, pull to the side of the road. $450 to $750, but if you're unlucky, you'll bend every valve in your engine, you'll break a piston, and you have to replace the motor. It's somewhere between $3,000 to $5,000. For $400, every 100,000 miles, get your timing belt changed so you don't get on the side of the road. Electronics. Nothing you can do about electronics, folks. When your crank sensor fails, your engine stops, almost like a timing belt, but basically is the computer needs to know where the piston is, and only the crank sensor can tell it. So when it dies, your engine dies. And only proper diagnosis will tell you the difference between a timing belt and a crank sensor. So just to let you know is, planning for vehicle failure is a little more involved because it's immediate. You got to get somewhere and the car ain't gonna go. Scott Holton, Aero Automotive. I hope you enjoy the information.